Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another deck profile of my Tenpai Dragons in August 2024, which I hit second in the locals recently. Last probably 4 days ago when this video is made. You'll be seeing this in about a week or so. When my Umi comes out, which the video was terrible because I actually kind of had to rush it a little bit, but I still managed to get the deck profile out, so I'll take that. So I'm here to give you the showdown of what my deck profile is consisting of. Now, there's been a few changes with support and how my locals actually went down regarding my my duels. So Friday just gone. What day is it today? I believe it's the 12th of August. So I went on the 9th, Friday the 9th, which are locals down there where I'm from. And I managed to get second. First game I played, it was against a Runic Tip with a White Forest support, which I got the loss from. Second game I played, which was those Gunkan ships, which I got the win. Third game I played, I can't remember. Hopefully it'll come back to me. And then the fourth, which I also got a win on that as well. And then the fourth game, the third game was Falling of Albaz. And then the fourth game was a mirror match against another Tenpai player who I have played against in the locals previous amount of times. I've never ever beaten him, but this time I managed to get the win, which I'm obviously quite chuffed about. Waited a long time. The first duel that I had, he took it 2-1. I could have got him on the second game. I should have got him on the second game with the card that I had in here. And he's another player who I've played against a couple of times. Could have gotten the win, but again, I'm waiting for that one to come about. Hopefully we'll play again each other next time we go into locals post ban list. So obviously this is probably going to get hit in the ban list. I've got a prediction that Sangan Summoner is going to be hit by a semi-limited mate and maybe a few others. So obviously this is August 2024 post ban list one in the. I am looking forward to seeing what will happen. So without further ado, let's start off with the monsters. So as always, I play 3 copy of Tenpai Dragon Pydra, 3 copies of Chandra, 2 copies of Fadra. Those are your main monsters that you are going to use for your Tenpai deck. Fadra, Chandra, and Pydra all have the ability to quick sync during any phase. Fadra also has the ability to reborn from the grave, Chandra to summon from the deck, and Pydra to search a spell or trap. Fadra also has the ability to prevent you from getting battle damage, and did I say Pydra? Pydra prevents you getting from battle damage, and Fadra prevents your monsters from being destroyed by battle. So with that, it comes a new support in Genruko. I was going to put in Adora Dora. It is a very cute card, I will say that. But I didn't think I had this place for it, and I will be looking to add it on depending on how the ban list goes for this deck. Which I'd like to thank as well my friend Tim, Buxton Gaming TCG. He actually pulled some Dora Doras and some Sangan Kaiho, is that how you say it? Which is the trap of the new trap, and the people use the Dora Dora for support for the Tenpai. I'd like to thank him because he's actually given them to me. I've let him down a little bit because I never used him in the deck, but I don't want to shout him out as well because he's we always go to locals together, and he played his dinos, and check out his deck profile coming up very soon. So moving on with other techs as well. So I used the Drago, which could have won me the game in the first one with its ability to neither play against special summon light or dark monsters, which obviously a majority of many meta decks these days have that attribute. Playing 2 Nibiru's, especially with a lot of cards Now, a lot of decks at the moment, special summoning very, very much a lot of monsters at the moment in over 5. Also, if you can hear that in the background, that's my dog drinking. It's a very hot day, so I don't blame her for doing it. So yeah, play 2 Nibiru's. I also play 2 shifters. No, I don't. I play 3 shifters, just in case of mirror matches and stuff like Runic, like sprites, well, like anything really. Anything that doesn't involve banishing, maybe Kashtira in some regards. And then taking hints off of the recent WCQs in which a young man actually won, and I believe in the European WCQs, he put in 3 copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood to help with his reborn of the of his gaining of life points. And of course the new Maxi that is out, Molcharmi Polaria. I never actually got to use that, which I'm really annoyed about, because I never pulled these. I bought these, and if anyone knows about the stock prices in TCG, Molcharmi at the moment is extremely expensive, but I wanted to do well in my locals, and I'm looking to move on to another location which also consists of regionals, which are going to be a lot more higher class and a lot more better players. No disrespect to my locals, there are very good players in there that have attended this regional, but I'm looking to obviously better myself as a player. So those are the monsters. We will move on to now the spells and the traps. So as normal with Tenpai, they are standard spell and traps that are there. And starting off with which is of course the main one, which is, let me get my cards, 3 copies of Sangan Summoning, which will undoubtedly be hit in the ban list. It must be. It's very OP for Tenpais, giving it protection, but a little part of me is thinking it's only going to be semi-limited if it does get hit at all, because the protection only lasts during the player's phase, not your opponent's phase, which I actually found out quite miserably. At locals, I thought it was all over. It turns out I was very much wrong. So, maybe a semi-limited, maybe not hit at all. I don't know, but we shall see. Next, 3 copies of Sangan Kaiman. Again, doubt it will be hit. It's a nice little searcher and extender to be used in a deck like this, but it is not something that is overly too powerful unless you are able to stop. Unless the player, a Tenpai player, has something to stop people from using the activated or monster effects or so forth, anything like that. During the battle phases, which is where the Sangan Kaiman will be more powerful, but most players will be bringing out a Transcendium which stops all activated effects regardless of what they are in the battle phase. So again, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it won't. I personally don't think it will. Next, Terraforming. Oh, you have to, because you do. If you want to get that Sangan Summoning, you're going to have to bring it out. 3 Pots of Prosperity. You don't have to worry about having reduced battle damage to your opponent, because when you have your Trident Dragon and so forth, it makes no other difference whatsoever. 3 copies of Droplets. Possibly the best card right now for negates as a spell. With the ability to actually negate half, and then whatever you discard, the opponent cannot respond with that. It's a bit cheese, but it's brilliant as well. To protect myself, 2 Lightning Storm, which I always forget to read. If you control no face-up cards, you can activate one of these effects, and I forget that I had face-up cards because I am stupid. But that is anything but. Raigeki. OG, the boss, back in the day, people hated Raigeki. Now it's back, people hate it even more. Harpy's Feather Duster, again, bringing it back in. You have to. If you don't run Harpy's Feather Duster in most meta decks right now, you have to have alternatives in that regards. And of course, 3 Infinite Impermanence, which is, again, running as usual what everything is now. Everybody always runs imperms, ashes, so forth, which obviously I do not run ash in my main at the moment due to other things that I have. which hopefully more benefit me. And did play a part, I must admit. Ash didn't really... having no Ash in my main did not really bother me, to be honest with you. It was quite helpful, the fact that I didn't have that in there. So I will take it on board more often, depending on what happens in the future. Now, over to my extra deck. And it's a standard one that I had in my previous deck profile. 1 Hieratic Seal, 1 Heater, 1 Promethean Princess, Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, and World Sea Dragon Zelantis. Another OTK line, if you can, if someone debarriers you using, obviously, you saying synchros, you have another OTK line. I was planning on changing up a bit, bringing in SP Little Knight and Striker Dragon, but there are a couple of things here in my synchros, such as Ancient Fairy Dragon, which I will probably be replacing for a Striker Dragon or an SP Little Knight. Ultimate Zolkin, another one possibly. I do not know. We'll have to see what happens. Black Rose Dragon, that actually cost me a game during my mirror match because he had a Black Rose Dragon, of course. Crystal Wing Synchron Dragon, nice negates to have off Ultimate Zolkin's effect. Time Lord, never played against Yubel, but that is the one that I will be using against Yubel. People say Samurai Destroyer. I'm not too sure. I prefer Time Lord personally, but that is obviously my perspective. I think either or are as good as each other, but it is one of the beast things for me. I think with the Samurai Destroyer, it is a level 7. Time Lord is a level 10, so obviously you have to go a little bit further to try and get things happening. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. Monsters in your opponent's possession are going to activate their effects during the battle phase, which is quite nice to have if you aren't able to get your 4 out into Transcendence, but you want to make sure that you don't you activate you attack 3 more times to try and get yourself your Bidens back out and try and get your Transcendence back out, and that will be the case. And speaking of which, 2 copies of Sangan Bidens, 1 copy of Transcendent Dragon, and of course 1 copy of Trident Dragon, which those 3 here have won me multiple games during the locals, so they are always going to be staying there. I doubt any of these will be hit. I will say this, I'm a little bit annoyed that Trident Dragon is getting reprinted for how much I pay for Trident Dragon, but this is Yu-Gi-Oh! It has to cheese you in some way or another, and it is cheesing me in that way. But I love the game, and I love this deck at the moment. I am probably going to be using it more often. I did get a bit of grief from my friends at the locals, saying, oh, you're using Tenpais and this, that, and the other. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm here to win, and I want to win. That's the idea of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then onto my side deck. I play 3 copies. I had 3 copies of Ash. There it is. 3 copies of Veiler. 3 copies of Dark Hole. 3 copies of Cyclone, and 3 copies of Ogre, which I use. I did not use at all my Ghost Ogre. I use that sometimes for my mirror matches, but I never had the chance to use it in the end, as everything else was probably as effective as each other. They gave me a lot of protection. I did use Cosmic Cyclone for my mirror match. For some reason, I didn't use my Cosmic Cyclone for my Runic. I think I forgot I actually had it there. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So it's all right. What I am going to be doing, I think, I might replace the Dark Hole with Anti-Spell Fragrance, which might be more beneficial for when I next time play against any kind of Runics, Labyrinth, so on and so forth. So while we are here, I'll give you the lowdown of what happened at my locals. So as I have mentioned before, I went to my locals with my good friend Tim Buxton, Buxton Gaming. No, he's not. His name's Tim. His handle at YouTube is Buxton Gaming. He does Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon Give him a shout, give him a view, give him a follow and a subscribe because he's on Twitch and YouTube. He played with his Dino deck, his old school Dino deck, which he loves, by the way, absolutely loves it, and he did really well. He played 2 players that I played, which was the Ronic player and the Tenpai player, and then he played against a Goatee player. He had a bye, unfortunately, but he will give you the lowdown when he releases his. So my first game, I played against a man called Tarek. I played against him a couple of times. He's a nice guy, definitely knows his stuff. First game I played against him was I had my Dragon Link and he had Tillaments, and he annihilated me on the first, I annihilated him on the second, and we went to time on the third. Anyway, he had Ronic with White Forest, and I was able to keep him from doing a lot of the stuff, and this is where I wish I had Anti-Spell Fragrance, or I changed it over for Cosmic Cyclone, because I would have given him a little bit more hard to think about. When he chose on our third and final game, he said for me to go first, and I believe I had a Fardra, I had a Chundra, and I had a Fardra, I believe that's what I had. And what could have won me the game is because I went into those two, or went straight into Heavenly Seals. I should have passed their quick effect, Heavenly Seals effect, and went into Draco, as all his monsters that he was using were light and dark monsters, and I did not use that. I did not go into that play, which eventually cost me the duel, which was really annoying because I did really well in his first. He did well, absolutely annihilated me on the second game. He went first, and there was a lot of negates on there for me to do. So that cost me the game. That cost me the duel in the first one. A little bit annoyed by that, but that is Tarot for you. Second game, I played against the Gonkan ships, and they were a lot of synchros and pendulums. No, it's not Gonkan. It's something else. It's something another lot of synchro ships and pendulum synchro ships. For the life of me, I can't remember. The player did really well, but he was not able to stop a lot of my plays with Pyja, with Sangan summoning Kaiman. He wasn't able to stop me at all. He was doing well in stopping plays. I believe some of his play, at least some of his monsters allowed for protection of themselves, having equipped cards to them, giving themselves a little bit of protection. But when I was able to get into the battle phase, using Kaiman, going into Trident Dragon alongside with Transcendent, as he had to put a lot in defense. Transcendent's effect on summoners obviously turn all as many as you can into attack position. He couldn't do anything to stop my attack, and I just absolutely blitzed him for 2-0. Second game, I played Fawn of Albaz. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos regarding Yu-Gi-Oh!, I bloody hate Fawn of Albaz. Absolutely hate it. One of the decks that really do cheese me off is Fawn of Albaz, alongside others. I will say, I like Labyrinth, which I have a bad experience about, which will be another thing. Hopefully, when the new archetype that's coming out, which will be, I'm looking to include into my Sword Souls, which I'll be taking to the locals whenever that comes out. I managed to get through. The play was really good. He knew what he was talking about, but a lot of stuff when he went first, I went into Nibiru. I pulled out a shifter as well, and I was able to do quite well regarding everything and bring out the Dogwood with it, of how many times he was summoning. Because he brought out Chimera, he brought out Mirror Jade. Next thing I know, I'm bumping up to 12,000, 13,000 life points, and it was going to be a lot. He made the mistake of allowing me to go second on both games, which is obviously you don't do for a Tenpai player. Even though he brought out his Mirror Jade, he brought out his Guardian Chimera on both games. When I bring out Shifter on the second, his face dropped, and he knew that he was like, okay, this guy's really getting to me now, really cheesing me a little bit, which I don't intentionally do, but obviously I'm here to win. And he couldn't do much about it, to be honest with you. So I managed to get that game. And then I played against a guy called Ash, who he's beaten me on 3 occasions. The first one, I was like playing Ancient Gears, and I was playing Machinas and Dragon Link. No, I played Machinas twice, and he beat me on all 3 occasions. And then the 4th time, the phrase is 3rd time lucky. This time it's 4th time lucky for me. We played a mirror match. I took the game 2-1. Sorry, with the our Fawn of Albaz, I took it 2-0, and with the Synchro Ships, I took it 2-0. With this mirror match, I took it 2-1. The first game, I won the high roll, and I obviously said to go second. Unfortunately, his hand consisted of basically that 3 Ash, 1 Imperm. Oh, that's 2 Imperm there. 1 Imperm and a call by. And he couldn't do anything. Could not do anything. And he actually even said, wow, I actually can't do shiitake mushrooms. Obviously, he didn't say that, but you can get the gist of what he actually said. And I thought I'd be a good player, and I'll be sporting. I said, listen, because I wanted to beat him fair and square, and I said, listen, if you want to restart the game, by all means, restart the game, because I want to beat you at your best. He disagreed. He said, no, I've done the hand. We're playing by the rules. I said, so on and so forth. I said, fair enough. You were fine. He's a sucker for the rules, I will say that. I mean, regardless of being locals. So I played the play, blew him out of the park, went into game 2. He told me to go first, bring out Seals with Fardra on the field to protect myself using the mode battling, obviously in defense position. And we was able to play through. We played about 2 or 3, about two rounds each, and I managed to get both. I managed to get the Fardra, that's Chandra, and Fardra out on the field to give myself more protection alongside Genruko. And then that's where he plays Black Rose Dragon, completely obliterates everything off the field except Black Rose Dragon. He hits me for third. How much does Black Rose Dragon got? Hits me for 24. I'm down. I'm then down to 1,600 life points. He plays Kaiman, pulls out Fardra, which has exactly 1,600, hits me for game. Third game, we all change it round. I bring out Cyclone. I bring out Dark Hole. Everything to try and disrupt whatever board he could put out with him going first. And he manages to get rid of something. What did he get rid of? I think he got rid of my Dogwood. That was it. I played Dogwood, and then he passed turn. Like he summoned Seals past turn. And then, obviously, with the effect of Dogwood is, if you don't gain no life points, your life points is halved. So you're like, oh, well, that's annoying. Did that. Spheres out into, I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Magnamute. Oh no, he banishes my Dogwood into a Magnamute. But then I play through all the way through to our main combo, and next thing you know, I managed to get the game before time came along, which was 10 minutes before the finish. So I got second place in the locals, and I will show you what I managed to pull as well. Why I am here. So I pulled Raid Raptor, Tribute Lanius, Agenix Undyne, Rank Up Magic Skip Force, Magispector Tempest, 2 Shenshens, very, very nice Armored XYZ, which I have in my Umi. Fusion Tag, again, beautiful, lovely little card. Target must be control of user fund. Okay. Emergency, which is, again, I thank my friend T. He actually gave me this. He pulled this because I'm looking to build Rescue Ace. Next, and Unchained Twins Aruha. Don't play Unchained. Only played it a couple of times. Don't know much about it, to be honest with you. But yep, that's what I pulled. Managed to pull 3 packs and got a couple of nice little ultra rares there with it. So with that, I am going to end it here. So that is my second of my locals, Tenpai, August 2024. I am interested to see what happens in the ban list. Not sure what deck I will be using in my next locals, which will be happening in September, which is obviously post-ban list. This is obviously pre-ban list, even though I know I said post, it's actually pre-ban list. I don't know. My very first deck after 20 years away was Ancient Gears. I might bring back Ancient Gears. It did okay in the WCQs. I might do it again. We will see. Or I might just use Tenpais and really annoy everyone. But it's one of those things at the moment. But anyway, thank you for everyone that's joined me. Please consider giving me a like and a follow on both my Twitch and my YouTube, Sons of Russell. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.